Здравейте на всички и добре дошли на днешния стрим. Правя този стрим, защото, както знаете, днеска ще направя стрим, в който ще гледаме и няма да гледаме, но ще направя стрим, в който ще коментирам за случващото се на The Game Awards 2024 година, а именно да разкрия повече подробна информация, къде може да гледате самия евент, в кои платформи може да гледате, в колко часа може да гледате като начален час на започване на самия евент и самата дата. Като това ще чака към края на стрима, защото преди това ще гледаме 3 големи шоукейсове, които ги изпуснах да ги гледам през миналите 2 месеца, именно през септември и октомври се случиха тия 2 шоукейсове, лайвстримове, а третия се случи преди 4 дни. Тъй че преди това ще кажа, ще гледаме първо PlayStation Sony State of Play, да видим какви игри са обявили, какви нови игри ще покажат, най-вече за новото поколение PlayStation 5, да видим какви игри са обявени. След това ще гледаме Xbox Partner Preview ивента, което се случи през октомври. И след това ще гледаме PC Gaming Show-то Most Wanted 2024 лайвстрим. И като за финал ще гледаме The Game Awards 2024, като ще разкрия датата, кога ще се случи, времето, като начален час кога ще почне и къде може да го гледате, в кои платформи, кои приложения може да го гледате, такива работи. Това е за финала. Такава е програмата днеска. А пък желая в следващите няколко, близо 4-5 часа да се изкараме хубаво и приятно и готино заедно в моята компанията на Спенчев, в моя YouTube каналта на Спенчев. И днеска цял ден ще сте заедно с мен, дано да не ви омръзна. Той без вас стрим скоро е нямало от много време, тъй че сега е момента да пуснем такъв стрим. Така. Вече трябва да сме на живо. В момента ще гледаме PlayStation Sony State of Play и да видим какви игри нови са обявили за PlayStation 5 за PlayStation 4 най-вече. Най-вече чакам някаква нова игра да покажат. Най-вече чакам да обявят някаква нова игра за PlayStation 4 и PlayStation 5. Най-вече този евент е фокусиран повечето върху PlayStation 5 игрите, а не толкова върху PlayStation 4 игрите. И най-вече чакам да обявят някаква нова AAA Open World игра, която да не е продължение на тия, които сме ги виждали до сега, ами някакъв нов проект да обявят и най-вече да покажат геймплей на Death Stranding 2, която ще излиза през 2025 година до година. И по-друго не знам какво да очаквам. Като това е за сега. Предстои време да споделя стрима. Предстои време да споделя стрима в YouTube. би трябвало всичко да е готово и вече да гледаме PlayStation Sony State of Play, което се случи през септември месец. Пак казвам за втори път, здравейте на всички и добре дошли в днешния стрим, в който ще гледаме 3 шоукейсове, лайвстримове и през тези 3 шоукейсове видим какви игри са обявени и който има време да идва на стрима да гледа. Цял следобед ще сме заедно, най-вече до към 5 часа, 6, може би и по-късно, не знам. И мисля, като за накрая да поговорим и за Game Awards и малко да разкажа подробна информация, която съм открил в интернет. Тъй че да. Здравейте на всички, добре дошли на днешния стрим, в който, както знаете, ще гледаме, както казах преди малко, което ще се случи. Така. В следващите няколко, близо 4 или 5 часа ще гледаме това, което бях казал преди малко, а именно PlayStation Sony State of Play, Xbox Partner Preview и PC Gaming Show вместо Watchand, и като за финал ще разкрия малко по-подробна информация за случващото се на The Game Awards 2024 година. Че това е плана. Няма да чакам целият таймер, защото това е много време.
And post it on Twitter or in the Discord, or literally seeing that resurgence of happiness, that's when I would say it'll be the day. We had it on a small scale. We had like maybe 10 people to lobby, but really seeing a ton of players. Like you go to Sodium, there's like 24 players in this Konami Dance Dance Revolution, and you see me, and I'm trying to beat everybody in the game. You know, seeing people with their original clothing items, to have people, you know, enjoy that. That's the day.
If you'd like to get involved with Destination Home, be sure to join the Discord server. And if you like this video, please check out our other inside stories about gaming communities, including the weird and wonderful fans still playing Fallout 76 and the Final Fantasy VII fans that are desperate to resurrect Aerith.
"2013 was a major year for video games. The PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 had overstayed their welcome, and consumers were looking for the next big thing.
Is it too late in its life cycle to get a PlayStation 3, and should I just wait?"
It was the perfect time to announce the next generation of PlayStation hardware, and Sony did just that.
This is the foundation of our next generation platform, PlayStation 4.
While on the surface, this may have seemed like just another console launch. It was only 2 years since the infamous hack of the PlayStation Network, 1 year since the Vita failed to set the market on fire, and over 6 years since the launch of the PS3. For Sony, this needed to be a home run. On this episode of IGN Rewind, we'll be taking a close look at the launch of Sony's 4th PlayStation console and dive deep into how the PlayStation 4's launch would set the groundwork for one of Sony's most successful video game endeavors yet. This is the launch and reveal of the PlayStation 4.
On fire in over 6 years.
Rumors of the next generation of PlayStation started popping up online via LinkedIn job postings,
They found the CV on LinkedIn of a guy named Attila Voss. He worked at PlayStation for about 14 years, starting in 1998. And what's interesting on his CV is that he worked on something called the Next Generation PlayStation. He worked on PS2, PS3, Vita, but he worked on this thing he only calls Next Generation PlayStation. We don't know what that is, but we assume it's the next generation console, PlayStation 4.
While numerous industry experts were speculating and discussing why they wanted a new PlayStation, there wasn't any official confirmation from Sony regarding a new console.
Rumors hit the internet about the PlayStation 4, Sony's next home console. Very exciting.
What's a code name?
Codenamed Orbis.
Oh, that's a hell of a name.
Woo!
That's a thing.
Now, there's the rumors have a few details to them, including the CPU and GPU, which I don't think are as exciting as a couple other pieces of information, including the fact that it apparently will not play PlayStation 3 games. Whoa, there's going to be some sort of restriction placed on the system's ability to play used games. Now, we also heard that there's a potential holiday release for 2013. So with all that said, Colin, true or fake?
It's probably true, but I don't know. I mean, so we did reach out to Sony, of course. We talked to our people there. Their usual line when they don't want to tell us anything is we don't comment on rumors and speculation. PlayStation 4's controller seems to have leaked, Scott. And these are very exciting times. Now, the story comes by way of Destructoid, who posted a picture. This is the picture, but we'll have a better version of it, obviously, appearing on your screen, of what looks like a PlayStation 4 dev kit and a PlayStation 4 controller. And a source indicates to IGN that that controller is 100% real, so there is no speculation about it.
That speculation wouldn't last too long, though.
And here we go. Sony will be making a big announcement on February 20th, and all signs point to it being the PlayStation 4. PlayStation.com is advertising a meeting to be held on February 20th at 6 p.m. Eastern, along with the invitation, See the Future.
We believe that PlayStation 4 represents a significant shift from thinking of PlayStation as merely a box or a console to thinking of PlayStation as a leading authority on play. This is the foundation of our next generation platform, PlayStation 4.
Today, Sony held a special press event in New York City and they had tons of huge announcements for us. Let's get to it. First off, the big one.
The PlayStation 4 is official and it's coming as soon as holiday 2013. It will have an x86 CPU, 8 gigs of system RAM, and what Sony is calling an enhanced PC GPU and a supercharged PC architecture. It will be capable of running gorgeous Unreal Engine 4 games and even have millions of objects moving in real time on the Havoc engine. You'll apparently be able to turn off the system while playing and pick up where you left off just by turning it back on. Dedicated always-on hardware puts a huge focus on social functionality where apps on Vita, smartphones, and tablets allow you to chat even when you're away from your PS4.
But we didn't just get to see the new console. Take a look at the new controller.
It's officially called the DualShock 4. It has enhanced rumble, reduced latency, a small touchpad, and a light bar to track its movements. It also has a share button, but more on that in a bit.
Not gonna lie, that looks pretty hot to me.
I'm Jamin Hatfield, host and producer here at IGN. You may recognize me from such shows as GameScoop.
What was the hype like around the office when the PS4 was initially announced? So pre-E3 when they had that PlayStation conference, and then the controller leak like a week before.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit, it was a little bit muted at that point. It was like I said, sounds great on paper. It's the next PlayStation, it's more powerful, easier.
Sounds great on paper. It's the next PlayStation. It's more powerful.
Same thing happened with Xbox when you watch that reveal of the Xbox One. It almost seems like they don't even think of Sony as a competitor anymore. Like they want to compete with Amazon.
Това, което виждам сега в момента, доколкото знам,
So the whole reveal, there's very little talk of video games during that reveal. There's talk about how it's going to be the center of
тук показват всички конзоли през годините, как са развили, какъв хардуер и софтуер са разградили и получили. И казват всяка една конзола през коя година е излязла, на каква цена се е продавала на пазара и най-вече какви игри са станали хитови за всяка отделна конзола и кои игри са станали хитови, за да се играят през годините.
the reception of their event was received in a less than
Тук се дават
stellar way, and
Xbox.
ultimately led to diminished sales and a major blow to their
Защото
brand's
аз не съм много фен на
That's another
Xbox.
story for another day.
Нищо не мога да кажа за Xbox, но за PlayStation съм много голям фен, тъй като имам PlayStation 4 Pro и от 5 години съм с конзолата и съм изиграл доста много игри. Тези, които ме следят във Facebook, знаят, че имам PlayStation.
I'm waiting for the knockout punch, and then they just came out and beat the body to death. It's 6 years, 6.5 years I've covered PlayStation for IGN. I'm so used to them coming out and just screwing it up. I know. They're coming out like, no, we got this.
Oh my God.
E3 2006,
They screwed up then.
No,
They announced
$600,
$600.
$599 US dollars.
Yeah. I don't know. So where do we begin?
You have to. It was backloaded. This whole thing, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like
They were teasing us the whole way.
yeah.
And I loved it.
I wanted more.
They showed a hell of a lot of. Oh my God. Yeah. Bombshells were the price.
The biggest question on everyone's mind was saved for the end of the conference. Everyone wants to know, what's it going to cost? Sony revealed that the PlayStation 4, which arrives this holiday season, will be priced at $399 US, 399 euros, and 349 pounds sterling. 20% less than the Xbox One. Damn. The most notable thing to come out of the entire press conference, besides the console itself, wasn't an announcement for anything Sony was selling, but a direct shot at Microsoft Xbox One's always online DRM.
This is how you share your games on PS4.
This bold jab at the competition was what Sony needed to hammer its gaming-first messaging and solidify its player-first stance for the next generation of consoles.
I think they handled it as pretty. They took that probably as far as you could, without being like distasteful.
The PS4 reveal was a massive success, and Sony managed to not only reinvigorate the PlayStation brand, but also amplify the competition's confusing messaging around its next Xbox console.
There were lots of people who gave their opinions on that issue to my Twitter account before E3. It's not that our hardware policies are decided strictly based on user reaction like this, but when we were thinking about what we had to bring across and how to bring it across, it was a very useful source. Considering how Sony referenced the feedback Microsoft had received towards the end of its conference, it appears that even if the backlash didn't dictate what the Japanese company decided to do with the PS4, it was happy to capitalize on the negative reaction. SCE Japan Asia President Hiroshi Kawano added, "As of now, I feel like we're getting a very positive response. For this system, we made a list of what people expected from us, debating over each point, with user feedback forming the main basis for the list. The software makers are also telling us that they feel like they really make some fun stuff with it. A new platform always provides the basis for new forms of play, so I'd like to see it connect to a revitalization of the marketplace."
It's the fact that I think for E3 and what E3 is designed to be, PlayStation wanted. I think Microsoft had better games. I was more excited about their game lineup, but only because I already knew they came out and showed like updated versions for PlayStation games, right?
Sure.
It was like, that's awesome. And then what I got excited about the PlayStation was the price, and then standing up for gamers like we've talked about and doing all these different things. This
is the time more than ever where you need to win on policy, because a few years ago Sony announced the PS3 and they said it's $599 US, and people said no. And this is
in what E3 is designed to be, PlayStation wanted. I think Microsoft had better games. I was more excited about their game lineup, but only because I already knew they came out and showed like updated versions for PlayStation games, right? It was like, that's awesome. And then what I got excited about the PlayStation was the price, and then standing up for gamers like we've talked about and doing all these different things. This
is the time more than ever where you need to win on policy, because a few years ago Sony announced the PS3 and they said it's $599 US, and people said no. And had they said yes, game consoles would forever be $600+, but they weren't. And we changed that, right? And we spoke with our wallets. And this time around, Sony said, we're not going to do the used game thing. We're not going to rip people off. And they stopped that dead in its track. And if you're doing that, you're an ass. Right. And you're ripping people off. And that's the tone they set. And that's more important than any game in the world. The games will come later, but if the platform doesn't rip you off out the box, it's a good place to start.
In those first-party conferences, there's always sort of a level of like one-upmanship, and they're always trying to outdo each other. But that year is like, I've never seen any of the first parties be so blatant in their like thumbs up to Xbox. Like Jack Tretton, they addressed deliberately the fact that their console was not going to require any sort of online connection. You can trade your games, you can play used games. They're just like they hit every weak point that Xbox had sort of revealed for themselves.
Yeah,
Sony took advantage of.
The excitement around the PlayStation 4 was nearing a cult-like status. Thanks to its well-received E3 press conference and effective marketing campaign, Sony had positioned itself to become the console leader of this new generation early into its launch window.
And then, of course, on launch day, it was like, there was so much more excitement. Like, we have a video on IGN about this mass unboxing of PS4s in the office, because pretty much everyone in the IGN office had pre-ordered one. Let me just say, I don't think we had enough people to do a fun video like that for the Xbox One.
What's up, everybody? It's me, Greg Miller, and our personal PS4s have arrived here at the IGN office, but everybody's so excited we all wanted to do an unboxing video by ourselves, so we said, hey, we'll do it all at once. You guys ready? Yeah! All right then, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody?
There it is. We got the controller right here. Let's take a look at the DualShock 4. A little bit of a demo. It's nice and got the handle. You know, I like the handle. You have the Watchand guy.
Month of PlayStation Plus. But the best part about this is that if you hook it up to your TV right now, you'll be able to download the latest firmware and make sure you get it in time.
That's different than college, but I would want to know
PlayStation 3, it didn't really have a built-in headset, so nobody was ever talking in PS3 multiplayer games.
It's very, very nice back here that you can see.
The wobble, the infamous PlayStation 4 wobble. It's because of these little dots, but don't worry about it, it's okay.
Most important is an authentic quick start guide.
But then it also comes with a controller. Oh my gosh, we got the same thing! That's why this is the most revolutionary console ever made, since the GameCube at least.
This is the world's best HDMI cable because it came free in a box.
Okay, well, I'm going to do an in-depth walkthrough of this power cable now, starting at one end. So I'm not sure what this end is for.
The console looks pretty amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
It's got the glossy
small
disc.
disc. I love what they've done here.
We get
There
to
you
try
have
it
it,
to make
folks.
sure.
The PS4, it looks great. I'm gonna go make out with this thing.
Some of us have to get back to work.
Well, that's the unboxing of the PlayStation 4.
It was very entertaining as a gamer to watch, and it was exciting to cover as an IGN employee. So yeah, I don't think I wouldn't have. I have no notes.
Между другото, той дето го показват в момента е оригиналния PlayStation 4, не PlayStation 4 Slim или PlayStation 4 Pro, а оригиналния първия PlayStation 4.
Was able to revive the PlayStation brand and launch one of the most successful consoles ever.
Thank you so much for being here. Good night.
Hey guys, in this video.
Това вече е PlayStation 5 Pro, която излезе на пазара преди един месец на солидната цена 1000 и няколко лева. Нещо дизайна не ма кефи на новия PlayStation 5 Pro. PlayStation 4 Pro по-як от петицата. Новото поколение. Не знам, че са мои очаквания.
Richard Ledbetter from Digital Foundry. It is an honor having you on the show today to discuss the technology and your reaction to this reveal. So, what were your thoughts?
Well, first of all, welcome. Thanks for having me. Wow, where do we begin?
За много нещо я хейтат. Тая новата PlayStation Pro 5, че е била много яка, че е била по-мощна, била с AI, изкуствен интелект, игрите, всички, които стават на PlayStation 4 и PlayStation 5 оригиналния, че стават и на PlayStation 5 Pro или ще да бъдат още по-мощни игрите, по-яки и такива работа, само да си я купиш и да дадеш 1000 лева за нещо, което не знам дали ще хареса като дизайн. Но като мощност, там не знам. Пък за тези, които искат да си я купят, преди да си купите PlayStation, ви препоръчвам да се поразровите в интернет и да изгледате някакво ревю за новия PlayStation 5 Pro, дали ще ви хареса и такива работи, да не да дадете 1000 лева само и те на вятъра за нещо, което после няма да си го ползвате си здраве. Това е мой съвет.
I thought that the way that they would do this would be to talk about the base PlayStation 5 first, and then go into the
Все пак това е 1000 лева конзола. Аз PlayStation 4, когато го купувахме, го купихме за 800 лева от Sony.
And we actually know a lot more about the machine based on the leaks that started like March 2024. And that was a little disappointing because we've got like the barest details, but we don't have any context. We don't have
Искам и да отметна, че на PlayStation 5 Pro джойстика е същия, с който работи PlayStation Slim и PlayStation 5 оригинални. Тъй, че джойстиците са едни и същи, а пък игрите няма някаква голяма разлика. Ето тук дадат за перформанс на The Last of Us, на Ratchet and Clank, на Gran Turismo. Няма че така голяма разлика, но и сега дадат на една от най-големите игри за предходното поколение, за една от най-големите хитове, а именно Marvel Spider-Man. Трябват някакви тестове да ги сравнят с PlayStation 5 и PlayStation 5 Pro, но за мен разликата е най-съща. Не е какво знае кога да е.
The guy at CNET liked it. We know that.
Yeah, well, great. That's awesome. I'd like to see that myself. I think another thing which sort of caused issues for me is that the representative software that was used in the presentation wasn't the best choice, because the first party games are actually really good on the base PlayStation 5. They aren't really, the upgrades are going to be far less pronounced than, let's say, for example, some of the Unreal Engine 5 blurry games that didn't hit 60 frames per second. Those would have been much better candidates for showing the advantages of the machine, right? And, well, what can I say? I'm really sort of bagging on it, but, I probably would have done things a lot differently if I were in charge of it. Yeah.
Well, maybe you could dive into that a little bit, because I look at it and I'm like, okay, you keep talking about sharpness, or you're talking about ray tracing, but you're not really showing us like where is the ray tracing in this shot of Star Wars at the beginning of the presentation. It's just sort of water. That's not the best example of reflective ray tracing anyway. Like, if you're talking about shadows, okay, maybe, but I think the Harry Potter shot near the end of the presentation was a little bit better representation of it, but like you said, it was a very strange decision to talk about PSSR, the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, with a visual demonstration of what it will do, without somebody like Mark Cerny diving into how it actually works, what it's actually doing in the background in a more meaningful way. If you had the opportunity, what would you have changed about how you presented these tiny details that showcase the power of the PlayStation 5 Pro.
I think you need better examples. I think the Gran Turismo one was pretty good because you actually saw an effect that had previously only been seen in the replays and photo mode and stuff, and it was actually there in gameplay, so that was pretty cool. But, you know, I would have liked to have seen the stuff that we do, obviously, which would be like, you know, you see gameplay, you have freeze frames, you have zooms, you have actual explanation of what's going on there, you have a comparison against the standard experience, which they kind of shied away from there because I think they can't show that the standard machine, which the vast majority of people are going to buy, it can't be seen to be that deficient. So yeah, that's kind of the way I'd have done things. Hogwarts was a bit weird. I mean, that's Unreal Engine 4 ray tracing. This is like the first iteration of Epic's RT implementations there. So it's not great compared to UE5. I would have gone for a UE5 game if they could have found one. Assuming there is one, I'm sure there are. So yeah, I guess, you know, when they sort of started off with The Last of Us Part 2, you know, obviously that's a PS4 game. That's not the game I would have chosen to debut PlayStation 5 Pro. And secondly, the performance mode in The Last of Us Part 2, it's 1440p, but it doesn't look that bad. But, you know, PSSR, I mean, DLSS has been, I would say, the most transformative technology in the PC space.
И тук сега говорят за тестовите за The Last of Us Part 1 ремейка. Какви са разликите и приликите между перформанс тестовете, които правят? Дали има разлики между PlayStation 5 и PlayStation 5 Pro? Ясно е, че има някакви разлики, но какви са те? Гледам, че на Ratchet & Clank правят някакви перформанси.
Get some PNGs out there, get them out there, get people looking at it to actually, you know, do their own comparisons. Yeah, I'm just sort of a bit baffled by all of it, to be honest. Yeah, what can I say? It's kind of weird.
Yeah, and it was also odd to make the decision to take the shots and then put it in an even smaller box where if you're watching on your phone or you're watching on a device, that it's even harder to tell what they're trying to showcase side by side.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we've got our analytics on YouTube that tell us the devices that people are actually watching the content on. And, you know, basically, the last time I looked, which I think was like a year ago, it was over 50% of people are watching on their phone, and that number's only going to be going up. So the concept that you're having to, like, you know, strain to actually see what the difference is, it could have been handled a lot better, I think.
What was one thing that the PlayStation 5 Pro does that has you the most excited out of all the tech that was shown?
Absolutely PSSR, because if we look at what the prime deficiencies are of the base PlayStation 5 experience at the moment, in a lot of multi-platform titles for sure, the Sony first-party games, they've always been really well optimized for the hardware. But, you know, Unreal Engine 5 and, you know, other games like Space Marine 2, that's a good example we should talk about. They're necessarily cramming in a huge amount of detail, but to accommodate that on the GPU, they've got to lower the resolution. And then they upscale it again using FSR2, which isn't particularly good. PSSR is potentially transformative because I reckon even, you know, let's say it's as good as XeSS from Intel or DLSS from NVIDIA. We don't know for sure because we haven't seen it properly. But the point is that you can actually use resolutions that low and it will look fine on a 4K screen. But with the additional GPU horsepower, they'll be increasing the resolution as well. So, you know, I'd imagine those 720p base resolution games on PS5, they'll be like 900 or possibly even 1080p. But the transformative thing is the PSSR upscaling pass. And if it's as good as we hope it is, it should be passing for native 4K or very, very close to it. And, you know, what that means is that that's more GPU horsepower that can be diverted not to the amount of pixels that are being rendered, but to the quality of those pixels, which means also, of course, that you can do stuff like ray tracing added to the mix. And I'm also pretty sure, I mean, in the CNET article, they were talking about 8K Gran Turismo 7, which, you know, that won't be running at native 8K. It will be using PSSR, and that's, you know, I want to see those screenshots, man. You know, I want to play the game. As I said in our DF Direct last night, our 8K capture cards are ready for this. We want to see how they're doing it. We want to see how good PSSR is. With Ratchet and Clank and Horizon Forbidden West, we can actually put those head to head against the PC technologies, XeSS and DLSS. We can see just how good the technologies are. So it's a bit disappointing. This is going to sound incredibly arrogant. It's a bit disappointing that we didn't get to see it, and we still haven't seen it based on the quality of the presentation. Because, you know, if the stars PSSR is going to be game changing for the console space, and obviously machine learning in general. I mean, the PS5 Pro's machine learning silicon's like 300 tops. It's not insignificant in terms of the amount of compute power that's there. And, you know, that could just be the beginning. I mean, if you look at what NVIDIA have done with, you know, ray reconstruction, frame generation, all using that machine learning silicon, there's no reason why that shouldn't be coming to console as well. And, you know, PSSR is just the beginning, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that technology is something I would have liked to learn more about. But besides the one recreated demonstration of what it's going to do, he didn't really dive into it, and it's one of the coolest pieces of technology that PlayStation is currently touting for their.
Дайте да видим на лаптопа здравните осигуровки. За кои месеци нямаш, бе? Дай да видим, щом той го има на лаптопа, значи че трябва да го имаш. Както отсъствията и това детските здравно осигуряване на твоето име. Щом той го има на лаптоп, значи ти го имаш. Да видим за кои месеци пише, че нямаш. Не, за какво го обаш? Ти ще го четеш. Аз нямам очила. И то и нещо. Ей, тъй го слушай.
Ей, сега гледай. Значи от Юлия. Сега така. НАП, значи НАП. Така.
Аз мисля, че ако такова, значи юни. Защото август, септември, октомври, ноември имаш бележки. Твоето име ще търсиш. Нали?
Да. Значи започваме първо с проверка. Справка за здравно-осигурителна осигуровка. Услуги за местни данъци и такси.
Не е здравна осигуровка, дед пише. Здравно осигуряване.
Значи справката. Значи моя статус при избор се визуализира информация за вашия здравен статус, здравния статус на избраното в контекстното меню лице. Проверка при избор се визуализира информация за здравния статус на посоченото от вас лице. Вижте повече в описанието на услугата, достъпно в сайта на НАП. И сега тук ще направим една проверка бърза. Значи ето, ще направим една бърза проверка. Най-отдолу пише хазарт, подаване на данни и след това тук вече идват интрастат декларации, тестови услуги, комуникация, местни данъци и такси, плащане, справки, по доходни данъци, управление на достъпи и на контактна информация. Начало така. Важно съобщение: от 9 декември се прекратява пренасочването от стария към новия портал за електронни услуги на НАП. Дай да видим, уважаеми клиенти, информираме ви, че от 9 декември понеделник се прекратява пренасочването от стария портал за електронни услуги на НАП на адрес към новия. След тази дата всички потребители на електронни услуги, предоставени от Националната агенция
на твоето име здравните осигуровки, от кои месеца не са платени. То има интересува, не е тия работи. На профила, че ли къде трябва да пише, де да знам, аз тук не разбирам. Той де го намери? Трябваше да го питам и за кои месеци. Тук трябва да, аз мисля, че трябва да го има, щом той го има там на лаптопа, значи ти трябва да го имаш. Трябва на твоето име да е. Ти се самоосигуряваш. Не ти го осигурява някой предприятие, дето работиш, да речем. Не може да го намериш.
Входа.
Здравни осигуровки трябва да пише, бе, Наско. Здравно осигуряване. И казаха, че от 1 януари няма да вдигнат здравните процента. 8% е здравната осигуровка. Значи остава същата, колкото е била до сега.
Внасяне на здравни осигуровки. Как и какъв срок да платя здравните си вноски? Значи айто е внасяне на здравни осигуровки. Как и в какъв срок да платя здравните си вноски? Ами, сроковете за внасянето на здравноосигурителните вноски за различните осигурени лица са определени. Без такса с дебетни и кредитни карти.
Без такса, ама вземат такса.
Преглед на лекар не се взима никаква такса и наложен платеж. През платена услуга на EasyPay. С пощенски подпис. Вижте внасяне на здравни осигуровки, как и в какъв срок.
Ма твоето име трябва да видиш някъде. Твоето име и до кога имаш внесени. Кои месеци? Кои месеци не са внесени? Ей това.
Най-много в търсенето. Защото внасяне на здравни осигуровки, как и в какъв срок да платя здравните си вноски.
Аз знам как.
Как?
Как? Отиваш в EasyPay и внасяш. Как? До края на месеца трябва да се внесат, обаче те ми казаха до 25.
Здравно осигуряване. Тук пише срокове. Внасяне, възстановяване. Не са задължително осигурения. Осигуряващи, само осигуряващи се.
Ето и ето.
Закона за здравното осигуряване.
Самоосигуряващи се, че си там.
Закона за здравното осигуряване разглежда два вида задължени лица, осигуряващи физическо или юридическо лице, което е задължено да плаща здравни осигуровки за трето лице, самоосигуряващ е физическо лице, което плаща здравни осигуровки за себе си. Вижте, осигурявам се сам. Значи, осигурителите внасят осигурителни вноски за други лица.
Ама трябва твоето име да намериш, аз той го зная. Къде го пише той? То, щом го е видял.
Информационен център на НАП.
С името ти за кои месеци не е внесено, и то е интересно.
Земеделска земя и земеделска нива.
Къде ти е името? Къде си? Твоето име трябва да си намериш. Де да знае. Аз не разбирам. Но щом той в лаптопа го е намерил, значи трябва ти да го намериш. Де да знае. Как си намираш името за отсъствия? Колко отсъствия имаш? Значи и той трябва да ти има името, за щом се осигуряваш. Аз трябваше да го питам за кои месеци е пишало.
Че напама влизане пише здравни осигуровки.
Здравейте, това е представяне на новия портал за електронни услуги на Националната агенция за приходите. Преструктурираният портал за електронни услуги на НАП е достъпен по няколко начина, първият от които е чрез директната връзка. Здравейте, това е представяне на новия портал за електронни услуги на Националната агенция за приходите. Преструктурираният портал за електронни услуги на НАП е достъпен по няколко начина, първият от които е чрез директната връзка на заглавната страница на сайта на НАП. Другия подход, по който може да се достигне до сайта, е интернет адреса portal.nra.bg. Както виждате, портала има изцяло нов графичен дизайн, изцяло нова структура и някои много съществени функционални промени, които са създадени с цел да улеснят ползването му. Както виждате, в заглавната страница на портала са групирани някои от най-важните елементи, актуалните нови моменти, в които можете да прочетете повече детайли за новостите в портала. Автентикацията или с други думи казано начина, по който можете да ползвате електронни услуги, които изискват идентификация, като електронен подпис, персонален код или инфраструктурата на Държавна агенция електронно управление. Повече детайли по отношение до достъпа до електронните услуги, като например първичното достъпване на услугите, възможностите за упълномощаване и преупълномощаване и техническа информация по отношение на използваните браузъри, технология за подписване и други детайли. Обръщаме внимание, че портала работи с най-популярните браузъри, като не препоръчваме използването на Internet Explorer като браузър, чиято поддръжка съвсем скоро ще бъде прекратена. Чисто структурно, портала предполага категоризиране на всички електронни услуги Internet Explorer като браузър, чиято поддръжка съвсем скоро ще бъде прекратена. Чисто структурно, портала предполага категоризиране на всички електронни услуги, които предоставя Националната агенция за приходите, които вече са над 150, в ето тези тематични области. Например, подоходни данъци, ДДС декларации, осигуряване на трудовите договори. Фактически погледнато, услугите са достъпни и през ето тази навигационна лента. Тя копира графичните елементи долу, като всички видове електронни услуги могат да бъдат достъпени и по този начин.
чрез виртуалния пост терминал на НАП.
Къде се намират най-често използваните и най-популярните услуги, ще демонстрираме няколко елемента. В категорията подоходни данъци, например, можете да видите годишната декларация за облагане на доходите на физическите лица, корпоративните декларации, декларациите за облагане на корпоративни данъци, декларациите за авансови данъци, дело на тримесечно и много други. В категориите осигуряване и трудови договори, например, могат да се видят осигурителните декларации 6, данните за сключените или прекратени трудови договори и всички останали електронни услуги, които можем да видим в различните категории тук по-долу. Каква е най-главната и най-съществената промяна като идеология в новия портал? Първо, най-важно, трябва да кажем, че за разлика от предишния портал за електронни услуги, достъпът до този става без изрично заявяване. Преди беше необходимо да се подаде заявление за достъп до електронните услуги, за да може определено физическо или юридическо лице да използва портал. Сега това вече не е необходимо, като всяка една електронна услуга може да бъде директно достъпена, тя има свой собствен адрес, и след това, и след идентификация, било с електронен подпис, било с персонален код или с инфраструктурата на DAO, информацията и ползването на услугата може да бъде осъществена. Втората голяма промяна е, че за разлика от предишния портал на електронни услуги,
да видим, не знам какво да нещо... Проверка на здравни осигуровки.
Здравейте, уважаеми зрители! Днешният видеоклип е за компанията Viva.com и за интернета, който предоставя. Сега първо ви разказах какво точно ми се случи. През последната седмица нямах интернет, поради простата причина, че имат някакъв проблем Viva.com с интернет връзката. Съответно, какво се случи при мен? Пуснах си миналата събота компютъра, пуснах си рутера и се оказа, че интернета го няма. Опитах се да рестартирам рутера, да го ресетна. Какво ли не се опитах да направя, но той не проработи. Забарих се на Viva.com на техния телефон, 123, и съответно те ми казаха, че ще дойдат да ми оправят проблема. Дойдоха във вторник, смениха ми рутера и минаха са може би около 6 часа. В някакъв момент аз си изключих компютъра и рутера, както нормално си правя. Но какво се случи? Отново и интернетът изчезна, просто се изгуби като чаша вода в чистината Сахара. И така изчезна интернетът, че повече не искаше да проработи проклетия рутер. Отново се опитах да го рестартирам, отново се опитах да го ресетна, нищо не стана. И пак се обадих на 123 и те ми казаха, че ще дойдат да ми оправят отново интернета и това случи днес. И така, сега, какво се случи? Дойдоха, смениха ми отново рутера и ми казаха следното, че не трябва да го изключвам, защото щом се изключи рутера, оттам нататък той все едно забравя, че трябва да се свърже с... Когато го включите наново, той не може да се свърже с сървърите на Viva.com. И това, което също успя да разбере, че от тук от настройките на компютъра, където за мрежата, не трябва да си поправяте интернет връзка. Дори да ви спре интернета, дори лампичката за интернет на рутера ви да спре да свети, изчаквате 5-10 минути да ви се възстанови интернета по принцип. Ако не стане, обаждате се на техния телефон за връзка 123, но не си оправяте самички интернета от тук. Т.е. ако се опитате да си обновите IP адреса, няма да стане. Вместо да ви се обнови IP адреса, ще ви спре интернета изобщо. Така че изобщо не си рестартирайте рутерите, изобщо не ги пипайте, оставете ги да се работят непрекъснато, докато те не си решат проблема. Ето аз успях да си вляза на MyContact, тук успях да си видя интернет скоростта и така нататък, но по принцип сега вече може да се влиза в MyContact, както можеше преди, защото са направили така, че тук да се потребителското име и паролата, с които се логвах преди, сега са анулирани и са изтрити изцяло и по съвсем друг начин се влиза. Така че не се опитвайте да си пипате интернета и каквото и да е, обаждайте директно на компанията, тъй като имат доста сериозен проблем и така една седмица седях без интернет, направо се клетясах и откачи тотално, така че ако не искате да останете без интернет, тези, които са потребители на Viva.com, не си пипайте интернета, не си пипайте рутерите, нека да се работят, ако ви дадат нов рутер, също го оставете без да го пипате.
Заболеха щойка за 2 месеца.
Не знам, казал за 2. За кои 2 месеца, ма?
Сега декември, ама той има време за декември. То до 25 трябва да
има.
За юли сигурно.
Чай пак да се потърся, да видя. Ако мога да го намеря, не знам. Що не мога.
От бурсата.
Кое гини и пик.
Остави го.
И ги вика вас да го правят, не, от там ми го правиха.
Как от там?
Централно, защото те там го направиха.
Заради
коронавирус? Не знам. Нали смених рутера, нали ми изгърмя моя неговия.
Изгърмя ли? Изгърмя. Що го не махнеш?
Как изгърмява? Адаптера ли? Да.
Бачка. Какво да ти кажа? Всякак.
Динамично IPC.
Ай, ото да пусни.
То се по-добър.
Не може да го намериш. Заблеха ръка. Колко добър.
Кой ти? Учи ма маняк, защото ти ги знаеш.
Тук
ти в момента ти настоявам да имаш максимален.
Fake versus original hogcat. Fake versus original hogcat.
По-едро. Хубаво.
Fake versus original hogcat. Fake versus original hogcat.
Ой, хубаво. Как го карат така да зяпа, бе?
Много хубаво той котче. Аз отдавна съм обичам.
Каква е тази снимка?
Отблизо го дават, защото магазина няма как.
Големи такова има. Тук къде си бе? В Kaufland ли си?
Там пише молът на Kaufland. Пише отзад зад него Илян Европейски. Илян Европейски. Илян Европейски.
Ето и не са завърнаха, бе.
Те ги няма.
Не, бе. Ай, стига. Оф. Каквото е риба.
Да. Не е риба.
Кой?
Нещо в Кенче.
Ах, почия бе. Той. Много рошово бе. Бе, къде влезе? Там тясно бе.
Тясно.
Ще му отваря. Ще му отваря консерва. Тя пък имат специално отгоре са дърпа.
Той му е ляли европейския пастет, пише. Пастет за котки, пише.
Той избяга. Избяга. Но някакво зебе.
Някакво куче.
Ай, пак избяга. Как се отваря? С машинка някаква.
Машинка.
Че не виж, че отваря. Който...
Остава.
Ай, то... Риба ще кажеш, че има.
Не, пастет.
Това пастет. Риби бе, его. Риба бе.
Риба.
Риба ме, его, виж. Риба, разбира се. Там за хубаво. Лучше му я реже. За кого реже?
Поставь, пита.
То дюри, какво е такова?
Диво.
Няма. Не ще да еди. Мърца на боча бе. Не ще. Не му харесва се. Не ще.
Поставь.
Картонеца смей бе. Това.
Някаква царевица дава.
Да, царевица не еди.
Не еди.
Не еди, разбира се. Виж, еди пък, той не ще. Я ли?
Да, ама защо?
Не зная. Еди нещо сухо. Пак рибата не ще.
Сухо яде нещо.
Нещо му дава в ръка нещо. Бяга. Нещо го изстрах ли какво? То да не е такова горюще, може кои са. Има остро нещо.
Пише нещо таз.
Какво пише?
Таз пише.
Какво таз, бе?
Какво ще рече таз?
Да не, може да не е такава обикновена котка.
Sen kendine mi geldin? Merhaba. Hoş geldin. Ay ne kadar güzelsin böyle. Birazcık daha kendimize geldik. Isınınca toparlandı.
Какъв език то?
Günün sürprizi sabah saatlerindeyiz şu anda. Doğan dükkanı açmak için geldiğinde bu kartımız aradı beni. İçinde bir kedi, süt tozu ve biberonu da var. Muhtemelen bakmaya çalışmışlar. Bakamadıklarını düşünerek kliniğin önüne o soğuğa terk edip gitmişler ve hava soğuk. Yani sabahları burası 9 derece falan oluyor. Hayvan o sırada bayağı bir üşümüş bu arada. Ne kadar kaldı onu da bilmiyoruz. Ama kameralardan bakacağım ona da. Yani çok doğru değil tabii bu yapılan. Tabii ki de şimdi ona bakıcı buraya gelmiş, üşümüş, yoğun bakımımızı aldık, hemen ısıttık güzelce. Birazcık daha kendine gelir gibi şu anda. Ama bu yapılan doğru değil. Yani ilginç, insanlar gerçekten ilginç.
Kedinin nereden geldiği belli değil, annesinden
Değil,
o belli
kim,
değil.
kaç yaşında, hasta mı değil mi bilmiyoruz.
Ben kendisinden ayırdılar.
Aynen öyle. Geçmişinde ne var? Hasta mı değil mi? Bir şikayeti var mı? Zaten konuşamayan bir can ve bizim için yani annemle çok önemli. Şu an hiç bilmediğimiz bir çocuk. Bakalım. Şimdi muayene edeceğim. İnşallah önemli bir şey de yoktur. Ama ilginç. Birazcık ısındı değil mi? Karnını da doyuralım. İnşallah yemek yiyebiliyordur.
Sesi de çıkmıyor.
Пойди го намери. Мъничко той.
Мъничко.
Ще го хранят.
Hoş güzelliğe bak maşallah sana. Ne oldu, terk mi ettiler seni? Hı?
То лекарничо,
Ha, çok küçük.
ветеринар.
Çok bebek daha. Böyle koyalım abiciğim. Bakayım ısınmış mısın? Oo, daha iyisin, evet. Çok daha iyi gördüm seni. Bravo sana. Ne oldu? Acıktın mı biraz? Ya, ısınınca birazcık da kendine gelmiş gerçekten. Heh, geleceğim. Geleceğim. Yiyeceğim şimdi seni. Tamam. Ben de seni çok seviyorum, evet. Ben de seni çok sevdim, evet. Dur bakalım.
Ветеринар нещо.
А не ветеринар.
Еми не виж с слушалки бе Наско. Немкъв е.
Как слушалки?
Ами като са приглеждали, какво слагат лекарите?
Слушалка.
Küçük adam seni. Erkek misin sen? Evet. Evet. Bakayım sana şimdi. Çok bebek. Evet. Ama akciğerlerimiz kötü değil. Bakayım dişlerine. Ay dişleri daha çıkmamış. Çıkacak ama. Evet, yemek yemeye İyi, yemek yemeyi biliyor olması güzel. Kendin yiyebilir misin peki?
Demek mi yiyor?
Birazcık emiyor. Ha?
Я не там нещо.
Kendin doktora mı geldin? Gel. Gel içeri gel. Gel. Baban sana istedi. Hayır.
И друго.
Kendine geldi. Çok güzel. Sen burada bekle.
Merhaba.
Sen kimin yavrususun acaba?
Hı?
Nereden geldin? Nereden geldin? Ne oldu? Nereye gideceksin? Bakayım tipine bakayım.
Dayanmış. Şu bacağının bir toparlama var. Kendi kendine doktorun yolunu bulmuş yani, değil mi? Evet, korkuttu mu Çakır seni? Korkuttu. Şimdi röntgen çekeceğim, ona da bir bakalım nesi var. Bir bakabilir miyim ben önce böyle hayatım? Gel bakalım, maksimum bebek maması işlemi var mı acaba?
Oy oy oy oy.
Bir şey var ya. Yani hem bebek hem bebeğe fakat bebek bulmakta zorlanmıştır. Nasıl acıkmış? Şuraya bak. O kapıdaki Çakır da kendi gelmişti. Yüzü yaralıydı, hatırlarsınız belki. Şimdi gelmiş ona kızıyor eşek. O da kendi kendine geldi. Yani bir şekilde Allah bize gönderiyor aslında. Ben buna inanıyorum. Bakalım şimdi iyileştireceğiz onu inşallah. Bir bakalım da nesi var. Atlama sakın oradan. Yedin mi yemeğini? Bitirmemişsin ki. bunları bitir hadi önceden. Daha bunu yapılması
wish, тука пък мече. Panda meci.
Burada yalancı bir ekran oluşturacağız. Yavru olduğu için kısa sürede iyileşecektir. Ama çok ağrısı var şu anda. Yardım istemeye geldi işte. Çok acayip. Şimdi iç dış parazitlerini yapalım onu.
Ветеринар. Иди Стара Загора да завърши 2-3 години за такъв лекар за животни.
Güzellik. Çok da güzel yürekli ya. Bayıldım sana. Evet bayıldım sana. Harikasın. Şimdi senin önce bir şu pirelerinden kurtaralım, tamam mı? Sonra güzelce karnını doyuralım. Sonra sıcak bir mekan ayarlayalım. 2-3 gün ondan sonra ameliyat
Който обича животни, става ветеринарен лекар.
Ondan sonra da sahip bulacağız ona inşallah bakalım. Güzellik. Çok da güzel yürekli ya. Bayıldım sana. Evet bayıldım sana. Harikasın. Şimdi senin önce bir şu pirelerinden kurtaralım, tamam mı? Sonra güzelce karnını doyuralım. Sonra sıcak bir mekan ayarlayalım sana, olur mu? Mutlu musun? Yardım istemeye mi geldin sen? Çok mu ağrıyor bacağın? Birazcık ağrı kesici yapalım sana, rahatlatalım, evet. Evet bir tanem ya.
Ай, лека нощ.
Referring to as game boost, which unfortunately wasn't really displayed in the presentation. So another
well, that's an interesting point. Like how do you demonstrate game boost without showing that the experience is deficient on your standard console that's going to be selling millions of units, right? That's the big quandary. I mean, if you go back to PS4 Pro, it was really easy. It was like 4K screens are coming. And here's the machine that we're making for that. Oh, and by the way, it's actually going to improve performance if you've still got a 1080p screen. There's no display upgrades to hang this piece of hardware on. And it's like, well, you know, isn't PlayStation 5 already a 4K machine? And it's like, well, yes, and no. But this one, definitely. So, yeah, it's a crazy marketing challenge there for sure.
Were there any differences that actually did jump out to you when they were doing the side-by-sides? Because for me, it was the artifacting in the Last of Us presentation and the compression, which was really unfortunate. I was curious, were there any positive benefits that you could actually glean from what they did decide to show us?
I think it was definitely the ray tracing to Turismo 7, because, you know, arty reflections.
Хора, преди да почне самото събитие на PlayStation Sony State of Play, което се случи през септември, отивам до магазина, защото имам работи да купя и се връщам след не по-малко от 10 минути, а пък на вас ще оставя да гледате самия Stream Starting Post-Show Display.
Users want to use the performance modes, but what if you can have the performance mode that actually hits 60 frames per second and also have fidelity quality as well? I think that was pretty compelling. I thought that was pretty good, but you know, it all kind of went to pot with the examples that we used afterwards.
Yeah, Sony did say 30 FPS is choppy, so that was a little bit of a dig at developers who choose to use that. Yeah. Going into it, could you explain, like, what does 67% more compute units on the GPU, 28% faster memory, resulting in 50 up to 50 to 45 to 50% faster rendering for, like, what does all that mean? Can you like break that down? Like, what benefit will the user actually be seeing from these statistics that they put in the presentation?
Yeah, that kind of ties into, if you're talking like for like, without any game patches, in theory, we don't know this because we haven't tested it and they haven't actually provided detail. The boost mode there should, in theory, provide 45% of raw compute power to those existing games. So games that are running with dynamic resolution scaling, they should look clearer. They should maybe even hit the upper bounds of the DRS range. They should look clearer. Games that have a GPU-related bottleneck that stops them hitting their target frame rate, they should hit 60 frames per second, assuming that is the target frame rate. That's kind of the out-of-the-box improvements. Now, if you're talking about the new games, obviously, again, it means that you can increase resolution, but the actual multiplier, as it were, from image quality is going to come from PSSR. And if you actually look at PS4 Pro compared to PS4, they actually doubled GPU compute there. It was like, forget 45%, it was like doubling, it was like 100% more. They can't do that this time around because of the cost of making a chip that large. So what they have done is introduced machine learning, which is the way forward. I think it's more about efficiency than brute force. Efficiency plus some extra brute force, if you like. But yeah, that's kind of the way it's going to work. Boost mode should be pretty good, I think, if assuming we get the full power of the machine, and then developers will be able to use that extra brute force to maybe use more ray tracing effects or to increase resolutions and then increase them again, so to speak, with PSSR. It all sort of comes together there.
Yeah, I do hope they allow more people to have hands-on. There's not a lot of people in this space who do analysis like you do, and I would like to see, like, even if it's not Digital Foundry, just somebody that understands how to showcase 120 frames per second, which was a feature that they were touting, or here's what PSSR is actually doing, because I don't feel like their own presentation fulfilled that need or the CNET piece, unfortunately.
The point I was going to make is that PSSR is such a big deal because, well, let's put it this way. NVIDIA are now saying that on some games, they're seeing DLSS being used by something like the high 80s to 90% of users are using DLSS. This is like a transformative technology that's been widely adopted that everyone wants because, it's like minimal image quality degradation, massive increase in performance. This is awesome. It's never been seen before on console working successfully. We've got a poor substitute at the moment in the form of FSR2. So to bring that to consoles for the first time is pretty awesome. Also, you remember like going back to the PS3 era, they always used to do those incredible tech demos. You remember all
of the ducks?
Розата вътре ли там
I'm sure that they've got more
розата?
technology in the offing, similar to the way Nvidia has moved on to frame generation and ray reconstruction. Let's see some of those demos. Make us
Само
excited
се
about this
разходим,
thing.
че снимки
Just show us
направи.
The Last of Us again.
С другата каческа, че да едем
With the boost and the percentages that we're talking about, do you have any idea what a comparable PC build would be to the PlayStation 5 Pro? Because to me, that $700 price tag with $100 worth of other components puts you in the $800 range, and at some point, I have to imagine that people are saying maybe I should just go to PC at this point because this is quite expensive. What do you imagine that will cost?
Probably a fair bit more. I mean, you need to have the GPU that you're going to need. I mean, if you consider a holistic view of all of the different components, enhanced ray tracing, no AMD GPU has that at the moment. The machine learning block, no AMD GPU has that. It's almost like essentially an NVIDIA style feature set made by AMD. And the closest equivalent GPU you'll be looking at would be the RTX 4070. The 4060 is quite close to base PlayStation 5, factoring out machine learning ray tracing. So you're looking at a 4070. I looked on, I think it was Amazon yesterday, Amazon.com, and the cheapest one of those is $540.
Ами може да едем трима тази баба. И тук печи
power supply, case, 2 SSD. So it is going to ramp, yes, the costs are going to ramp up, right? Then you have your mitigating factors, which is that you aren't paying however many dollars per year for the glorious honor of being able to play online and have cloud saves. So you've got to kind of, maybe sort of amortize costs over the year to get a proper idea of what the actual comparison is. I do think maybe, though, you might be slightly missing the point, because if you consider what the PS5 Pro is, it's a machine that's designed, I don't think it's for new owners, right? It's for people that have got a PlayStation 5, but they've got the disposable income to have a better PlayStation 5. And I think that these guys are going to have an existing library of PS4 and PS5 titles. And to make the jump out of the PlayStation ecosystem and into the PC ecosystem, then you've got to leave those titles behind. Your entire library that you might have amassed over like 10 years, you've got to leave that behind. You've got to start from scratch, which I think is probably going to be a step too far. So that's kind of my viewpoint on that. It's kind of like it's quite an interesting thing to do, to kind of weigh up the costs of individual components and then factor it up against this $700 price point, which is actually much higher in Europe and certainly in Japan. And there, the PC argument probably becomes a bit more compelling. However, what if you're not in the PlayStation ecosystem? Because Microsoft is going to be facing exactly the same cost challenges as Sony in producing new hardware. And all of your Xbox games are going to be on PC. Now, what is the remaining factor that stops you from jumping across to PC? And I think that remaining factor is the fact that you can't really have a PC attached to your living room display and have a seamless experience with a joypad. You've kind of, we know this from PC handhelds. And actually Phil Spencer has kind of admitted that the weakest part of Windows on handhelds is Windows. Windows is going to need to dramatically improve in order to do that. But, Valve have basically got there with Steam Deck, right? And Microsoft are obviously going to do something very similar. So it's only a matter of time before this choice between console and PC is actually going to become quite a lot more of a head scratcher, but probably less so if you're in the Xbox ecosystem, because, you'll be able to play your games on whatever console you got and whatever PC you got. Sony, though, they've got a different challenge. But man, this price for the PS5 Pro is crazy high. It's nuts, right?
Yeah, it is very high. I've had sort of a theory about where Microsoft could go with the console if they're able to solve the challenge of the console user wanting to get in on PC games by allowing storefronts like Epic Games Store on the next console, whatever that may be, while also addressing the interface issues where, you know, people don't want to install new drivers and deal with all of that stuff on console. They just want to sit on the couch and turn it on. If they can solve that and the new console is more open for the enthusiasts like, you know, myself or yourself, who want to get their whole Steam library or add all the storefronts onto one box, I think that would give Sony a run for their money. But let's focus back in on the the PS5 Pro for a second. Do you think it's too expensive? 74% of users on IGN voted, and they think it's way too expensive. What are you thinking about the price? Is this going to end up limiting their sales? What do you think?
I think it obviously will limit their sales, but there's always going to be a core who will pay whatever they can in order to get the best possible experience, and I think that's what this machine is aimed at. However, with that said, this is breaking historical precedents on console pricing. Yes, I mean, I saw the stuff from Jeff Keighley about inflation-adjusted prices and whatnot, but that's not the way the consumer mentality works. You know, and PS4 Pro, by the way, was like $399, I seem to recall. And now we're up to like, what is it, you know, $699.
Mm-hmm.
There's guys in Europe who are paying almost double for a PS5 Pro than they did for a PS4 Pro, which is kind of crazy. My theory on this, and again, I'm just reminded of something that Phil Spencer said, which is that, you know, he's questioning whether subsidizing people to buy consoles is actually working, because it's the same people buying consoles gen over gen. The amount of people, console gamers, isn't increasing. It's the same guys buying new hardware, and if your subsidies are not increasing the size of the overall audience, why are you having subsidies? It's not great. And I think what we're seeing with the PlayStation 5 Pro is possibly an experiment from Sony in saying, well, okay, we'll continue to subsidize a bit the standard unit, but the PS5 Pro, we're going to see what happens if we just sell it at cost, or, heaven forbid, try to make some actual money on it. And so I think this is possibly why. I mean, going into this, I suspected that it would be a $600 console and we'd get a haircut in pricing on the standard model to kind of widen it out a bit. Instead, it looks like the standard model is staying where it is, and Sony has said that they're having problems with cost reduction.
It's going up.
And then, yes.
Yeah, they raised the price. Sorry.
Yeah, and then we've got the issues with, well, what are we going to do with the PlayStation 5 Pro then? It's got to be more expensive. $200 no disk drive. I knew it was happening. That's why I bought it in the background there. I bought one of those disk drives because I knew this was going to happen. And if it didn't happen, I could just return it. Cynical, but it worked. Anyway, the point is, if you've got, here's the weird thing: if you're marketing a pro console, and it has less features than the standard console that's, you know, $200 cheaper, that's shocking. And let's consider the people that are going to be buying PS5 Pro. It's going to be people that are deeply invested in the PlayStation ecosystem. You know, they bought the PlayStation 4, they probably bought the 4 Pro. They've got a lot of disc games, right? Surely, you know, the transition to digital has gained momentum over the years. But the concept that, you know, people who've got physical media can't actually run them on their PS5 Pro unless they spend, was it $80 or $100 in the US? It's £100 in the UK and €100 in Europe. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's, you know, that's not great. So it's kind of like a value hit there upon a value hit again where we were expecting $600. So yes, I mean, that's sort of kind of shocking. I think that's what people are taking umbrage at, and I think quite rightfully so. Thing is, though, consumer electronics are just getting more expensive to make, but obviously we're facing the question of, well, when next gen comes along, is that console going to be $700?
Oh.
Surely not.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
like, was it going to be $800, $900 for whatever the most powerful console ends up being down the line? It's sort of a scary thought.
And those enthusiast users might be thinking to themselves, well, why should I pay a premium for the console? If I'm going to be paying a premium, maybe I should get a PC, because then I can upgrade at my own pace when I feel like I need an upgrade, and I can spend as much or as little as I want. Yeah, food for thought.
Who do you think should upgrade to the PlayStation 5 Pro, and who do you think should probably just wait? Obviously, people who don't want to spend the money, but like, who do you think is the target for this upgrade? Like, who would you recommend it to as a friend?
It's basically going to be those guys who've got the money to spare, who want the best of the best. Now, the question is, this is kind of at odds with the concept of what a console is, which is a mainstream proposition, you know, a games machine for the everyman. This isn't that. That's what the base PlayStation 5 is for. And I think if I was recommending to a friend, I'd tell them to go to Facebook Marketplace and get one for like $350 or whatever. You know, I got an Xbox Series S from Facebook Marketplace for £65.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
So that's my recommendation there. But, you know, the people who should buy it, you know, are the people who could afford it, I think, primarily, as you said. And secondly, the people that, you know, maybe they've got their 77, 85-inch OLEDs and they actually want to have the best possible experience. I think that's for them.
Any final thoughts on the PlayStation 5 Pro reveal?
Yes, I think, well, I've already laid out the criticisms. I've got a criticism about the hardware, which is that they literally said the CPU is the same. And at the same time, they're talking about, you know, wanting to have 60 frames per second experiences. All of the enhancements in the Pro are geared towards GPU. So if graphics are the limit, then, you know, obviously the Pro is going to be a champion there. However, you know, recently, I think the last game we looked at, I mentioned it earlier, Space Marine 2, performance mode on that on PlayStation 5 doesn't get near 60 frames per second, and it won't with PlayStation 5 Pro. The graphics will look prettier, but you still won't be at 60 frames per second, because it's not just about what you're rendering, it's about what you're simulating. And, you know, all of the hordes that are sort of in that game, the swarms, it's just too much for the CPU, seemingly. Now, what they didn't say is that there is an option for developers to increase the clock speeds by 10%. But 10% of something that's low is still low. You know, 10% plus is still low, so that's not going to help. And your colleague Alex said to me this morning, well, you know, what about GTA 6? Is this going to run at 60 frames per second? That's a simulation-heavy game, historically, and I would say probably not there, which is probably going to upset a lot of people. But, you know, every single GTA game has been 30 FPS, sometimes struggling to hit 30 FPS. If they're pushing simulation just as hard in GTA 6, I'm not seeing anything in the PlayStation 5 Pro that's going to get you to 60 FPS if the base machine can't do it. If it can,
Хора, започваме след 2 минути да гледаме на живо PlayStation Sony State of Play, което са провели през септември 2024 година. Но ние ще го гледаме сега с вас на живо, защото аз не можах да го гледам и затова сега ще го гледаме на живо. Значи от ивента очаквам да обявят някаква нова Open World, значи някаква нова AAA Open World игра, някакъв нов проект да обявят, а не някакво продължение на някаква игра, която сме виждали до сега. Тоест не искам продължение на някаква игра, която сме я виждали до сега, а искам чисто нова AAA Open World игра с ново име, с нов пред, с нов герой, в нов свят и така нататък, но да видим какво ще покажат след малко. Тото и тая игра Астробот, която и пари да ми дават и няма да я играя, защото ще кажеш, че това е Супер Марио Одисей. Обаче без Марио, а с някакъв робот. Тая игра Астробот, ще кажеш, че е Супер Марио Одисей.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicholas Duce, the studio head at Team Sony. We couldn't be happier with the reception to Astrobot and to see how much joy Astro is bringing to homes all around the world. On behalf of Team Asobi, thank you so much. Now we still have a few surprises up our sleeves. Today's trailer was a sneak peek at the DLC we'll release later this year at no additional cost. We'll have more to share soon, but for now, let's enjoy the state of play.
Listen to me, bad one. If you intend to walk the midnight walk, you better be sure to keep your spark safe and burning.
While I was in the black, I had a dream. There was a monster in
Приказка за огън. А тото и PlayStation VR игра. И аз сега това е тая игра. Доскоро така игра за конзола е нямало. Не е излизала. То за VR.
Took a wander down the midnight walk.
I don't remember when it happened, but I remember how I felt. Father told us to hide when they came to our house. Then they took him away. Mother said I couldn't play outside anymore. Everyone had fled. She said the country was sick, but we would be okay. Mother always said monsters didn't exist. I thought they
Това е тая игра, бе.
We were both wrong. They live inside our heads.
Hell is us. What the fuck? Това е та свинщина, бе. Hell is us. Hell is us. Адът в нас. Ние игра може би ще я разцъкам.
Have you seen Yana? Something happened. She's in no state to be wandering out in the metro alone. I need to go after her.
Малко ми прилича тая игра на метро.
Arranged in some sort of ritual. Please, just let Yana be alright. What was that?
Обаче пише PlayStation VR. Може би метро игра за VR. Да видим. Дали ще е това, което го мисля аз.
Is that you? I'm seeing things. Hearing things. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Sometimes we need to become the thing we fear.
Знаете ли, че това е наистина метро, бе? Метро Awakening. Обаче за VR. Аз мога не съм по VR игрите.
So, how did it feel to learn the truth about the night sky tragedy? Long ago, you humans slaughtered each other until the whole world lay in ruins. And yet, you have been granted another chance in Auroria. It must be the will of your beloved mother goddess. However,
Някаква средновековна игра.
in your kind.
В момента да, в средновековна обстановка. Много ми прилича някакъв Souls-like игра.
Prove yourself. If you survive this trial, perhaps you might become one of us.
Arch-Age Chronicles. Може и тая игра да простъкам. До сега две игри съм си харесал. Това е някаква нова покемон игра. Power World. Имаш така игра, наистина.
Thanks to Pocket Pair for that new look
Да, аз забрах, че съществува така игра.
that's launching today on the PlayStation 5 console. We have a few more games with breaking news today, starting with the return of two beloved RPGs from the original PlayStation.
Your dreams, magical thoughts, all things are real unless you dream they're not. In your dreams, love is the plot, carried on wings of gold.
Lunar Remastered Collection brings together Lunar, the Silver Star Story Complete, and Lunar 2, Eternal Blue Complete, with updated visuals widescreen mode, and more.
Instantly we see it, the time to grow and be it, when everything is pinned on a hold.
Lunar Remastered Collection comes to PS5 and PS4 in spring 2025.
Чекай ще Final Fantasy.
Shredder's Revenge. First,
Обаче не е Final Fantasy.
which adds Mondo Gecko and Mona Lisa as playable characters. And for no extra cost, a remixed
Спомням си на времето как гледах Костюмирките нинджа, като бях малък.
Both of these updates arrive later today.
Сега вече не съм по тези игри.
And yes, you heard right. Keanu Reeves is joining Sonic X Shadow Generations as part of the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie pack. This update is inspired by scenes from the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie and arrives December 12th. The Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie pack is included in the Digital Deluxe Edition, which lets you play the game 3 days ahead of its October 25th release date.
Hello, State of Play. I'm Sakaguchi, producer of Fantasia Neo Dimension. 手作りのジオラマを使ったファンタジアネオディメンジョン150も作りました。そして、アカウントを変えていっぺんに戦ったり、スキルの起動を操作したりと、短式バトルにも新要素を盛り込んでいます。音楽はファイナルファンタジーシリーズで共に歩んできた上松さんです。プレイステーション5にて2024年12月5日発売。
Композитора говори, че е работил по Final Fantasy игрите.
We're just over a month away from the release of Dragon Age The Veilguard.
Dragon Age The Veilguard. Аз не съм много чак толкова голям привърженик и не съм чак толкова голям фен на Dragon Age поредицата. Варваме как ще покажете ли някаква готина игра. Казват тук някакви такива малки.
Rook, you made it. Good.
Wouldn't miss it. We have unfinished business with that dragon.
We've tracked it to a ruined tower nearby.
That lair is a death trap.
We need to lure her out to have any chance.
So we challenge her, draw the dragon out into the open, then attack.
Just you and me now.
Everyone, get ready!
Wardens! Ready ballistas! Wait for it.
Come on. Come on.
Тая игра много голяма фантастика, бе. Ще кажеш, че гледам Игра на тронове или Властелинът на пръстените. С тия дракони и рицари. Плюс това и замъците и ще кажеш, че гледаш Игра на тронове или Властелина на пръстените. По-хубаво да гледам Игра на тронове, отколкото Dragon Age.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. The SB.
Чай да видя. Chronicles. После ще разгледам. Remedy Entertainment Game. Тото и ще е вторият експанжен на Alan Wake 2.
BC's research department set up a facility.
Защото нали обявиха, че са правят два експанжена на Alan Wake 2, единия излезе, сега остава и другия да излезе. Те викат, че втория експанжен ще е последния експанжен на Alan Wake и ще работят за... След това вече ще почват работа на Control 2, тяхната следваща игра. Вече ще излезе след Alan Wake 2. Две далек хаос. Излиза октомври, когато излиза и Dragon Age The Veilguard. Айде, следващата VR игричка. Ако не знаете Илиан Европейски какво каза за тия VR игри, като видя VR игра, ми става лошо. И като попитаха защо ти става лошо, той вика не става ми лошо, защото като си сложа VR сета, VR очилата на мене си и като мине един час, почва вече свят да ми се вида в увръща. Представи си за какви игри става въпрос. Това е Хитман.
Few know the truth. I stood with Cain and my brethren until I had the honor of surpassing my Lord. For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony.
The fate of this world was preordained in an instant.
What madness is this?
Am I so changed?
I was not prepared for what lay beyond this threshold.
The future has always been written.
Don't fight it, Raziel.
Та игра много ми прилича на Darksiders. Legacy of Kain Soul River. Та игра съм я чувал. Една видим. Legacy. Soul River. Не е нещо, което ще играем.
Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered arrives December 10th, celebrating the 25th anniversary of the first game's release.
You sure we can't just hit the...
Games from the original PlayStation era also inspired Fear the Spotlight from Blumhouse Games. It brings atmospheric polygonal scares to PS5 and PS4 on October 22nd.
Just go home, Viv. I'm happy here. So happy.
At last, we've returned to our ancestral land, Agasba.
Build villages and nurture vast ecosystems in Towers of Agasba. This colorful world includes unique creatures, a peculiar cast of characters, and also allows you to invite other players to visit your island. Towers of Agasba launches into early access this November. Up next, Epic Games brings a split-screen mode to LEGO Fortnite this October. This feature enables friends and family to explore the world and build villages together while playing on the same PS5 or PS4. And in other Fortnite news, the new Fortnite limited edition DualSense
Сега трябва да показват
arrives later this year with
една от
pre-orders starting
най-тъпите
October 10th.
игри на целия свят, а именно Fortnite.
Visit PlayStation
То това е
Live
Lego
for
Fortnite.
details. Next, it's 1 versus 1000
Значи
in
като
Dynasty
чуя
Warriors
тая игра
Alliance,
Fortnite ми
and
става
Koei
лошо.
Tecmo Games is ready to share the release date. Let's take a look.
Dynasty Warriors Origins.
Guardian of peace, you have crossed paths with men who may one day bring about order.
Ей, това ще е игра, която вече ще играя, но не на релиз, защото ще е много скъпа.
And find a way to
Но бих я играл,
So
защото е
choose your
събра
path
иска.
wisely. Go forth and learn
Аз
what
след
it
една
means
част
to
от
be a
поредицата не съм играл, защото става дума за Dynasty Warriors.
You claim to strive for justice, but have no way to achieve it. Tearing down the system without providing an alternative is mere wanton.
Сега живеем във времена, където много малко игри излизат хубави и които ни харесват да играем. Повечето игри, дето сега излизат вече в днешно време, повечето не ни харесват. През годината излизат примерно 10 хубави игри, това е, които са 5 на конзола и другите 5 на столен компютър, да речем ексклузиви. Примерно, кажем, за конзола излизат ексклузивно 5 игри, които може да играеш на столен компютър, и другите 5 игри излизат за настолен компютър, които са ексклузивни и не стават за PlayStation, примерно. Ей, такава е схемата с днешните игри, които излизат за PlayStation 5, като Stellar Blade. Това е ексклузив, който ви става за конзола, но в бъдеще може да я направят, да я портнат за компютър.
So, Captain, what's your team been getting up to?
The Guild gave special assignments to some of the other units from the expedition, mine included.
This forest is amazing.
My fur isn't built for this kind of weather. That's causing the water currents to surge too.
This is its territory, and we're intruders.
Той сигурно е тая игра, Monster Hunter Wilds. Те нали показаха някакво демо на Gamescom. Не съм фен нито на Monster Hunter, нито на Dragon Age.
Seems we must do a more thorough investigation.
What is that thing? An extinct species.
You're a hunter. You've got a weapon, and you do nothing? Give it to me, and I'll...
Аз какво ви казах, че това е Monster Hunter Wilds, която излиза през 2025 година. 28 февруари. Когато излиза и Avowed. Тя излиза на 18 февруари. Средата на месец февруари. Avowed.
皆さんこんにちは。モンスターハンターワイルズプロデューサーの津本です。本作の発売日が2025年2月28日世界同日発売に決定いたしました。本日より順次予約を開始しますので、ぜひご覧いただければと思います。
На Monster Hunter Wilds се казва тук какви издания ще има за Monster Hunter Wilds и че ще излезе мащабно на 28 февруари до година.
カプコンオンラインプログラムを放送いたします。それでは引き続きモンスターハンターワイルズの情報にご注目ください。またお会いしましょう。
Look at those chompers. Okay, trail spots aren't cheap, so let's get started. A hunter with a mysterious past, and her very heroic.
А тото е Lego Horizon. Почнаха да правят такива игри, бе. Може ли някой сега да играе и Lego игри? Като речем, че са детски игри.
Like the Shadow Stalwart outfit. And this, I don't know what that is. That or that. Or why they're climbing in that cannon. But look how much fun they're having. Come and join the party in Mother's Heart. Phew, got it all in. Oh, I forgot to mention the pre-order.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Zatani. We are so excited for everyone to get their hands on LEGO Horizon Adventures when it launches on November 14th. And Aloy has more good news on the horizon. Aloy's original adventure, Horizon Zero Dawn, is being remastered for PS5 and PC.
Е ремастъра на Horizon Zero Dawn. Май спомням си през 2020, когато си купих PlayStation 4 Pro. Тази игра ми беше първата игра на PlayStation 4 Pro, която изиграх. Horizon Zero Dawn. Една от любимите ми игри, които съм изиграл преди много време. То кажем, че Horizon Zero Dawn е хит на PlayStation. Можем да кажем, че това е една от най-хубавите игри, които съм играл на PlayStation 4.
New content is on the way to the action-packed world of Stellar Blade. A new photo mode lets players set up the perfect picture with your choice of poses, expressions,
Хайде вече добавят фотомод в Stellar Blade.
And Stellar Blade's original soundtrack, featuring over 180 songs from the game, is available on select streaming services starting today. But that's not all. Sci-fi worlds collide in the Stellar Blade and Nier Automata collaboration, coming to Stellar Blade later this year. Now let's talk about what's ahead for PlayStation Plus. First, your monthly games for October are WWE 2K24, Dead Space, and Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. These will be available to all PlayStation Plus members starting October 1st. Meanwhile, our library of PlayStation classics continues to grow, with 2 more fan favorites from the original PlayStation arriving later this year: Blood Omen Legacy of Kain and Capcom's Dino Crisis. Naughty Dog fans know September 26th is the Last of Us Day, and we're celebrating by adding the
Тая игра The Last of Us направи я спукаха от рекламиране и от трейлери. Пък за Horizon Zero Dawn бих ви казал, че не се нуждае играта от ремастър или ремейк, тъй като тая игра не е стара. Тя излезе през 2017. Тук показват някакви нови цветове на джойстиците на PlayStation 5. В 3 цвята: синьо, бяло и зелено.
I'm Mark Cerny. We recently revealed the newest addition to the PlayStation 4
3
family,
панели
PS5 Pro, alongside several
ще има
games
за
showcasing the superior
PlayStation
frameworks
5.
and improved graphics of the new console.
Джойстици и панели
With PS5
в нови
Pro,
цветове,
developers have
в нови
access
3
to
цвята.
3 key improvements: an upgraded GPU, advanced ray tracing, and AI-driven upscaling that combine to bring developers closer to realizing their unique vision. We're excited for players to get their hands on PlayStation 5 Pro when it launches this November. But in the meantime, here's a look at some of the games that are being enhanced for the new console, including a few titles that we're revealing for the very first time today.
This is the time of our lives. This is the time of our
Това ли беше от ивента? Със сигурност да. О,
We are beyond the edge of Japan.
Тази игра.
To disappear.
Маунт Йотей, планина Йотей.
But you are hunting. And now, every Ronin here is after you.
О, ти е Ghost of Tsushima 2.
Still think you're the hunter?
Ето, че доживяхме и да й направят продължение. И както едновременно доживяхме да видим трейлъра. Но той не е джинска, той е друг главен герой. Това е продължение на Ghost of Tsushima. Ето е Sucker Punch, които правят самата игра Ghost of Tsushima. Значи няма да е Джин Сакай, ами ще е някаква жена самурай. Няма да сме мъж самурай, ами жена. Ето не е лошо. Ghost of Yotei. Няма да се казва Ghost of Tsushima, а Ghost of Yotei. Под името Ghost of Tsushima 2. – 2025 година. Значи Ghost of Tsushima, че да пусна. Значи Ghost of Tsushima я изиграх преди 3 години, през 2020 година на PlayStation 4 Pro и може би тази игра ми беше една от най-любимите ми игри, които съм играл на PlayStation 4 след Horizon Zero Dawn и може би Ghost of Tsushima се нарежда на първо място сред една от най-любимите ми игри на всички времена и Ghost of Tsushima. Играта ми е любима заради самата история, заради самите герои, главната роля е Джин Сакай и заради самата природа, заради самите животни, заради самия оживен свят, жив свят е, самата японска обстановка. Той да яждеш кон сред земите на Япония за мен беше голямо приключение. Играта е 100% на 100% и играта много ми хареса. Направо беше разкош. Дано и втората част да е също, но колкото видях в този трейлър, главната роля няма да е Джин Сакай, ами ще е някоя жена и ще се развива пак в Япония, но на друго място. Няма да е на същото място, където се развиваше самата Ghost of Tsushima игра, ами се развива в околностите на Йотей. Колкото знам, ще има и някаква планина Йотей, която сигурно ще играе важна роля в продължението. И ще видим, когато излезе през 2025 година. А до тогава ще гледаме предстоящи трейлери и такива работи. Като това е май като цяло за PlayStation, Sony State of Play. Да се прехвърляме към другия евент.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Beyond.
Така, спираме тук, защото тук ще говорят за това, за тези самите игри, които са обявени, които бяха обявени сега. Ще говорят за тях, но не ме интересува. Така, сега ще гледаме с вас на живо Xbox Partner Preview евента, който се случи през октомври. Да видим там какви игри са обявени. Но пропускаме тези 2 часа. Сега да кажа малко и за Xbox шоукейса. За Xbox Partner Preview. Аз като не съм чак толкова голям фен на Xbox. От Xbox очаквам само някакви готини игри да обявят, но от към конзоли не ме интересува нищо, защото не ми харесват техните конзоли заради самият им дизайн. Иначе от към игри имат доста яки игри Xbox и затова ще гледаме самия ивент. От към игри какво очаквам, нищо не мога да кажа. Като гледаме самия ивент, ще видим дали ще си харесам аз някаква игра да играя в бъдеще или не. Ще го видим след 5 минути, след 1 час. А на вас оставям хубавата музичка зад Stream Starting in Paneva.
Peggy 12.
Welcome!
Konnichiwa, Xbox no Phil des. Welcome to the Xbox Tokyo Game Show 2024 broadcast. It's a pleasure to be back at Tokyo Game Show with the latest announcements and updates from our creative teams and our publishing partners. Special thanks to everyone at CESA for your continued work on behalf of players, publishers, and game creators here in Japan and throughout Asia. We're continuing to see growth in the region. This year, more people are playing with Xbox across all devices in Asia than ever before. And we've seen the largest number of Xbox console players in the region to date. We have a terrific lineup of games from our creative teams at Activision, Bethesda, Blizzard, and Xbox Game Studios coming to Xbox consoles, PC, and Game Pass before the end of the year. Next week, the Starfield expansion Shattered Space will be available to players everywhere. It's the new story expansion to Starfield from the team at Bethesda Game Studios, where the players will explore a mysterious new planet while they find unique weapons, spacesuits, and gear. And as someone who's played a lot of Starfield, I'm pleased that players in Japan will get to experience a fully localized Shattered Space with the interface, voice acting, and subtitles all available in Japanese. In October, Blizzard will launch Vessel of Hatred, the first expansion for Diablo 4. Players will venture into a new region of Sanctuary with an all-new character class and mercenary companions to fight alongside, and challenge themselves with a new endgame co-op experience, Dark Citadel. Also in October, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 will be available on Xbox consoles, PC, and with Game Pass. Set in the 1990s, Black Ops 6 features a new campaign, incredibly deep multiplayer, round-based zombies, and redefined player movement throughout the game. The reaction to the beta has been phenomenal, and we can't wait to welcome players into the full game on October 25th. In November, players will take to the skies in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Some of you may remember that when we brought Microsoft Flight Simulator to Tokyo Game Show back in 2020, the very first world update the team created was focused on Japan. The audience here has grown significantly. We have more cool content planned for our Japanese players in the future, so stay tuned. And in December, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will make its debut. The team at Machine Games, in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games, has crafted a first-person adventure game that puts players in the shoes of the world's most famous archaeologist, using his whip, his wits, and more than a bit of luck to overcome his enemies. And like Shattered Space, Indiana Jones will be localized in Japanese. Next year, our lineup of games keeps on going with Avowed, South of Midnight, Doom the Dark Ages, Fable, and more, all available on day one with Game Pass. I'm also proud to announce that on November 5th, StarCraft Remastered and StarCraft 2 will be available with PC Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate. The StarCraft series helped define real-time strategy in esports and live streaming. And we're thrilled that even more players will get to experience the campaign and multiplayer modes from these two iconic games. So enjoy the rest of the show, and arigato gozaimasu.
Welcome to IGN Live. Earlier today, we got a brand new Xbox game showcase from Phil Spencer and his team, featuring a ton of reveals and surprises. There's a lot to talk about. Who better to talk about the present and future of Xbox than the
Ryan
Xbox
McCaffrey
himself? They want to hear from you, my friend, not me. Phil Spencer, thank you and welcome to IGN Live.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, everybody.
So
your energy's incredible.
We have 1 hour together on the dot, and we have some friends coming in halfway through, some other awesome Xbox developers. So
people who actually build games.
I don't want to waste a second with you here, and I want to start. I said this earlier on this stage. I think you just had the best showcase you've ever had. I really mean. I said it before you got here.
Thank you, Ryan.
It really was fantastic. Now, I know you plan these things months and months in advance. For anybody that doesn't know, like the planning for this starts like the beginning of the year kind of thing.
That's right.
It's crazy. So I'm curious, at what point do you, with this one this year, do you get a feeling that, oh, this one's looking pretty good?
Yeah,
Don't be humble. Just tell us the real answer here.
Honestly, like, until our fans, the customers, you guys give us the feedback, like, Aaron Greenberg and I were talking about this 2 weeks ago. The thing that probably hit me the most was obviously just the passion of the teams of putting their amazing work on stage and seeing so many teams do great work. But it was based, I'd say, 2 months ago when I just looked at the kind of scale of the franchises, how much work the teams were doing to show up the way they did, and the partners that we had in the show. Like, I was in awe of the show.
There's a couple games I want to ask you about specifically before we'll talk about some other stuff too, but the one that I said, right, for me, of all the great stuff from today, stole the show for me was something I wasn't expecting to see today again, which was Perfect Dark.
I knew you were going to say that.
Perfect Dark. A first-person spy espionage, some parkour, a little Mirror's Edge in there, which I love.
All playable, like all in-game.
Yeah. And that game's been cooking for a long time.
It has.
That we followed.
The partners at Crystal have been doing amazing work there.
Yeah, Crystal was brought in to help it keep going. So what has it been like for you to kind of follow the very long trajectory of that game from, that started with Daryl Gallagher starting a studio. And
just
now,
down the street.
Yeah, and now we're finally here. Like, so how has it been kind of getting to this point with Perfect Dark?
Yeah, in parallel, building a studio while you're building a game, and something that Perfect Dark back to N64 and obviously us with PDZ on 360, like there's just such anticipation for that game, and I really appreciate everybody's patience because we've been talking about this for a long time, and like my team can verify this. When I saw it, I said, this is the one that Ryan's going to love because we know his love for Spy. And I said, this is the one. And just so proud of the team. And it really just came together so well. And I mean, a cool little story. Daryl had our other studio heads down at the studio just yesterday and walked through that same section in-game to show them, like, this is a game being played. And I love seeing our community of creators coming together that way.
Well, another, the one more thing, which we were all hoping for and got, was a new Gears of War game, but it wasn't. It wasn't Gears 6.
It was not.
It was not Gears 6. So, what you have a visibility into everything, but I'm curious, when you're in a meeting with, maybe it's Matt Booty, maybe it's Alan Hartman, but the Coalition folks, like, when you learn that they've gone down the E-Day road, the prequel road, rather than Gears, like, what was your reaction when you found out that was going to be the next direction for Gears of War?
Well, you know this. We've had some changes in leadership of the studio. Rod, who was there, is now leading Diablo for us. So I actually thought, a Diablo game I'm playing a ton of, I thought it was a nice opportunity for that team to establish their Gears, right? And following on Gears 5, just because the numerical thing, like, I think it would this was an opportunity for them to take it back to an origin story that I know that has a lot of, like, real depth to it in terms of Emergence Day. and tell that story through the coalition as it is today. I thought, like, what a great opportunity. I was excited. And then you probably saw, I know you heard it, the Mad World tune in the play piece.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for those of us who remember the 360 commercial, like, how iconic was that? So when they went back and sourced that and brought that through the piece, I think it just showed that they kind of stayed true to what Gears is, but tell a new story, new art.
Now, you're wearing a very cool Xbox Pride shirt today, but a year ago at the Xbox Showcase, you freaked out people like me by wearing a Hexen shirt, which is a game that I have very near and dear to my heart. And now, well, then too, you had just acquired Hexen. You own that as part of many other things. But then today, I see the reveal for Doom: The Dark Ages, and I go, well, wait a second.
How awesome was that?
Hold on. Are you secretly making a Hexen game in the Doom universe? Because I know you and I share the love for this.
Yeah. No, I would like to say I'm actually smart enough to predict anything like that. I wasn't. But definitely, if you look at Doom: Dark Ages, and thanks to Marty and the team, they let me introduce that, right? So I got to come out and, like, I was going through all my old school stories. For those as old as me who remembers Doom 1 on a floppy, going, my only PC that could run it was my PC at Microsoft. So I would sneak it at night, put it in so I could play. So the opportunity to stand there and get to announce a Doom, and then Doom: Dark Ages, which definitely has some Hexen in it. And I just thought, Hugo and the team, fantastic work. I'm so proud.
Now, I can't help but bring up something that's been a topic of conversation a lot recently, which is that Doom: The Dark Ages is also going to ship on PS5, something that you've done with some other games. So can you, from a business level, like, can you walk me through, you paid $7.5 billion to acquire Bethesda's ZeniMax. So what's the calculus, like, what's the process there for deciding, like, okay, new Doom, let's keep it multi-platform as it has been, or just put it on Xbox. So what's kind of the thought process there?
Well, on Doom, it's definitely one of those franchises that has a history on so many devices.
Yeah.
I think they have, like, Doom running on a lawnmower somewhere when you go back. But, and, it's a franchise that I think everybody deserves to play. I'm really proud of what the team... And to be honest, like, I was in a meeting with Marty and the team a couple of years ago, and I asked Marty what he wanted to do. And he said he wanted to ship it on all platforms. I said, let's go do that. Like, it was as simple as that. Now, I want to bring it back, though, because I get a lot of questions about, hey, if I'm an Xbox owner, what does it mean? And what I want to say, and I thought it showed up so well in the show today, you saw an amazing collection of games that are coming to Xbox. They're going into Game Pass day one. And Game Pass showed up so well. If you buy the game on our console, you get to play it on PC. You buy it on PC, so the cross entitlement stuff is all there. And we're focused on future hardware with forward compatibility. Our commitment to our Xbox customers is you're going to get the opportunity to buy or subscribe to the game. We're going to support the game on other screens. And you are going to see more of our games on more platforms. And we just see that as a benefit to the franchises that we're building. And we see that from players, and the players love to be able to play.
Well,
thank you.
There you go. I have to do the journalistically responsible thing now and bring the mood down. Otherwise, the internet would tear me apart. So I wanted to ask you haven't really commented publicly much in the last couple months. So I wanted to ask you about the studio closures and Tango Gameworks and some of the thoughts behind the decision making there. I mean, you had a critical darling in Hi-Fi Rush. You had folks like Aaron Greenberg saying it checked all these boxes for us and did all the right things here. So, walk me through the decision of why, really Tango specifically, not to disrespect the other studios that were closed, but that was the one that really seemed to kind of stick in the community's craw a bit. So, I'm hoping here that you can take the opportunity to address that closure and some of the recent changes in Xbox.
Yeah. The closure of any team is hard, obviously, on the individuals there, hard on the team. And I try to spend all of my focus, as you said, I haven't been talking publicly about this, because right now is a time for us to focus on the team and the individuals. It's obviously a decision that's very hard on them, and I want to make sure through severance and other things that we're doing the right thing for the individuals on the team. It's not about my PR, it's not about Xbox PR, it's about those teams. In the end, I've said over and over, I have to run a sustainable business inside the company and grow. And that means sometimes I have to make hard decisions that frankly are not decisions I love, but decisions that somebody needs to go make. We will continue to go forward. We will continue to invest in what we're trying to go do in Xbox and build the best business that we can, which ensures we can continue to do shows like the one we just did.
On the the Activision Blizzard saga, that's all been probably maybe
called it saga.
Well, I don't know. Did it from covering it and watching it, it felt like it put like 5 years on my life.
Yeah.
As somebody that covers Xbox, I can't imagine how it was for you. But as that came to a close, and you started integrating them into Activision Blizzard King, into Xbox Studios, has that changed the way that you think about running the business at all? Because the organization just got quite a bit larger, almost overnight in a sense.
No, I mean, we're still, and I hope we show this today, we're going to be about building great games for people to play, about giving them choice on Xbox to go play. We've got a broader library of games. The thing I'm starting to see, which I really love, is the organic collaboration between our teams that are coming out and trying to build that community of creators that, I mean, you and I will go back to the time of Xbox where we basically had 4 games. Fable, Forza, Gears, Halo, and we would just literally every 4 years, and I would have to come to E3 and I'd somehow try to make those 4 games seem different every year for the community. And now what we have in gaming is just an amazing collection of teams and franchises that are doing great work. So I think, I feel an added responsibility as somebody who loves this industry for the franchises that show up on our stage. But I still think in the end, it's about putting amazing games out. Like, I'm really proud of the work that Ninja Theory did with Hellblade and how Hellblade's been the response to that. And we have an amazing internal team now that's focused on us doing a bunch of Unreal games as an example. And then you see things like South of Midnight, which might have been my game of the show. I thought it looked so good. You got Perfect Dark, you have Gears. So, like, for us, as the organization gets bigger, I think it's just more important that we can take bets together and try to do innovative, creative things, and that will continue to drive us.
All right, well, we've got to take a very quick break, but we've got lots more Phil Spencer talking all things Xbox right here on IGN Live, so don't go anywhere. So cool.
Are you sure you want to investigate this, Indy?
I can't let this go. It could be the best kept secret in history.
What are you going to do, Indiana?
These artifacts have a deep connection to something in the past. Voss believes they hold a kind of power. A discovery that could change the world.
What were you doing out there?
Fresh air! We have to find the stones, Gina. Or they will. If you were to draw a line through these ancient sites around the globe, you'd get a perfectly aligned circle.
The Great Circle.
Exactly.
I intercepted a Morse code coming from the Himalayas.
Where Voss is sending all of his men.
Is that a...
Battleship? Yep. Let's get a closer look. Gotta find a stone and get off this ship.
What's that in his hands? What does it say?
Earth something. What was that?
We'd better hide.
Hey!
Hands behind your head. Where's the stone, you American rat?
What stone?
Have you ever heard of Höhenangst?
Fear of heights?
Yes! And I have it. I endured this dreadful mountain even if my mind was screaming every step of the way. Because of a concept you narrow-minded Americans will never understand! Devotion. Total and absolute devotion to the fatherland. You have no purpose. What you have is your stupid American cartoons. Choo-choo, choo-choo. You laugh and dance, celebrating your own idiocy and drinking the piss you call beer. I will walk through fire for the devoted men of the Reich. Give me that stone. Now!
Can't give you what I don't have.
I shall search your corpse to make sure it!
Nice way.
Give me the stone.
Gina.
We gotta get out of here.
Help me!
The stone! The stone!
Gina! Haltet sie auf! Erschießt sie! Hab dich.
Play it day one with Game Pass.
Oh my goodness! What did we think of that? I mean, I thought it looked phenomenal, and the fact that again, like I own all consoles, so I'm not, what is it? I'm console agnostic. Is that the right term that I'm using?
You do not worship any console god.
Well, yeah, no. But I mean, I'm on Beyond, which is a PlayStation focused podcast, and I gotta say, I was pretty happy to see that it's coming out next year on PS5. But of course, Xbox fans out there, you're gonna be getting it later on this year, I do believe, December 9th, 2024. Kat, what's your takeaway on Indie?
I mean, my takeaway is, when does it come out on a Nintendo Switch? If we're going to put it on PlayStation, the time is now. Put Indie on there. But I think that is one of the most impressive looking games of the show. Troy Baker does a killer Indiana Jones. Yeah. I do have some questions about how relevant Indiana Jones is still as a franchise, because Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny really came and went, and it feels like it's a franchise that's really for a certain age, but it's clear that Machine Games is approaching it from a place of love. I will say that it will never top Fate of Atlantis, which is forever and always the best Indiana.
I keep coming back to this page. The author's clearly awake. It's like he's warning us. But about what? I mean, what does it mean?
The Marmots had let the lake in.
This is Agent Kieran Estevez responding to an AWE alert in the vicinity. I need to speak with the Marmots.
But the water could not flow. It became trapped, stagnant. The pressure kept building, looking for release.
What is that? We have a situation in the lake house. All agents converge on the facility now.
I'm outside, in a forest. Not here, not here, not here.
Find out how Remedy is bringing a darker tone and horror elements to Alan Wake 2's second expansion, The Lake House, exclusively on Xbox Wire.
Expansion. Което за мен е безмислено. Хайде, Watch Dogs 4. Булварда има. Хронос The New Dawn. Излиза през 2025 година.
Fire is a unique shooter that removes light from the equation. Find out how the project came to be exclusively on Xbox Wire.
Това не е моята игра.
なんで俺はこんな砂浜で寝とったんや？思い出せへん。いや、そもそもの話、俺は誰や？ノアのおかげで命拾いした。
おじさんが記憶取り戻すまででいいからさ、俺を島の外連れてってよ。父ちゃんには内緒で。
海賊ごっこちゅうことか？悪くない響きやの。記憶喪失で目覚ましてたったの2日。俺は海賊の船長になって海に漕ぎ出した。あいつらなんなん？コスプレかいな。
マッドランティスってとこから来てんだよ。ギャングとマフィアのたまり場の島。こっ
ちも行くね。ありかじいっぱい。行く手に待ち受ける数々の冒険はお宝をめぐる戦争になっていくわけ。
ブライスなき今、マッドランティスはいくつかの犯罪組織で運営されてるよ。そのうち一番でかいのがクイーン・ミシェルってバーサの組織だ。
よく来たね、キャプテン真島に五郎丸の皆さん。
マッドランティスにはカジノも女の店もあるが、パイレーツコルシアムに一番金が動く。
海賊王レイモンド・ロード、見事なデビュー戦だったな船長。
やっと会えたな兄弟。兄弟はやめ言うてろや。この先ずっと記憶喪失のままでいいのか？ヤクザの大幹部だったんだろ。記憶戻らんかったらこのまま海賊家業を続けんのもありか。
Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii takes the series in a direction we never expected. Find out about its naval battles on Xbox Wire.
Винаги през февруари е голямата улица.
A clue, a lead. What more could a mouse detective want? Eureka! This is a real mouse changer. Time to play detective and connect the dots. Looks like we just hit the jackpot.
То това е тая игра, Survival игра, така беше. Има и втора част. Subnautica. Аз така и не съм я играл, сега за втората част. И ще играм втората част. Ето Subnautica 2. Early Access Welcome 2025 watchlist today.
Dive into uncharted waters in Subnautica 2. Adventure alone or with friends as you try to survive on an all-new mysterious alien planet. Learn more exclusively on Xbox Wire.
I am Shadow Donkey. Animal Well is a game of many shadows. It's a game where every animal casts a shadow, and it's a game where you cast a shadow, and sometimes even the shadow of a shadow can cast a shadow. At times, you must step out of the shadows and reveal the secret which has been lurking in the shadows all along. Because if these shadows are allowed to remain within the shadows, then who knows what kind of shady shadow stuff these shadows are going to do next in the shadows. What we must always remember is that without shadows, there is no light. These shadows are evil, but some are not, and we have to look into the shadow of the shadow of the shadow to realize the shadow of the shadow within. So basically what I'm saying, Animal Well available today on Xbox.
Animal Well.
シキは無事宇宙へ行ったか。
マザーに会いに行くんだ。一番乗りを目指してな。
あんた外の世界へ行きたいって言ってたでしょ。今がその時よ。
ワイズシュタイナーは俺だ。てめえら誰なんだよ。
師匠に会って伝えなきゃいけない言葉があるんだ。
まずは思考性を集結させるのです。
エデンズグリッター、オーバーヒールデストロイ、ガンズハーベスト。
見つけたぞ。
好き。お前の船は俺たちがもらう。
マザーは実在します。この広い宇宙のどこかに。
ガキがいいぜ。時間がねえが遊んでやる。
友達のいねえお前の友達になってやる。
Eternal Strength. Ще гледам, после след стрима ще ви фърля някакво око.
I have seen the gods shatter into gilded mist. I have seen the hunters awaken, steadfast heroes among them, and treacherous villains as well. I have seen the thrones brought low, faiths torn asunder, and all that still live before the end. They all struggle in anguish and despair. But I have yet to see the ember that can rise against the dark.
Mistful Hunter. Чай не да. Много игри. Тук 3 игри съм си харесал и това са Arch Age Chronicles, Eternal Strength и Mistful Hunter.
Mistfall Hunter crosses Souls-like and extraction games to make for something brand new. Find out more exclusively on Xbox Wire.
Curly 2025 to Xbox.
What did you see? Okay, never mind, we're coming. Hello?
то е фасмофобия, обаче идва за Xbox Series X и S.
My dearest child, this island offers everything you may need in your precious life. Vast forests, roaring rivers, and mountains of rock and ice. You are old enough now to know that for every bit of goodness in this world, an opposing force exists. In the heat of the earth resides a darkness you cannot fathom. Demons as old as time, my child. Do not doubt, even a light like yours can be tempted by the dark. You must always choose good. And that I know you will. Sepe, be resilient, be resourceful. Be brave, my son. Stay in the light, with Babu by your side. And may the magic of this island protect us all.
The Legend of Babu. Questa è grave. Babu. The Legend of Bamboo. The Bamboo. Bamboo. Та няма да игра.
The Ming Dynasty is dead. Although I swore to protect it, I failed. Now I walk the path of blood until my mission is fulfilled. I will not rest until all traitors are silenced and our stolen kingdom returned. Who dares to question my will, standing in the way of my redemption? Със сигурност ще играя. Обаче не на релиз, защото всички игри са скъпи. Ще играя пак в бъдеще. just another lost soul, trying to oppose fate. And fate, it's mine to command.
Watchand, Fallen Features coming with respect to Xbox Series X.
This place was always dangerous. And weird. Policy and procedure used to keep us in control. But now, we need a new approach. Welcome to Firebreak.
Learn how Remedy went about designing its first ever multiplayer game, exclusively on Xbox Wire.
Чакам най-много тая игра Watchand Fallen Features. Повече чакам от Eternal Strengths. Thanks for watching. Thank you.
This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Sierra 117.
In beautiful time. Но за сега ще е това. И това беше от всичко от Xbox Partner Preview ивента, което се случи през октомври. А за PC Gaming шоуто мисля да го гледам и утре. Защото искам вече да приключвам. Утре пак е ден. Утре ще видим PC Gaming Show Most Wanted 2024 Livestream, да ми там какво са обявили. Ще го запазя за гледане по-късно, но утре ще го гледаме с вас на живо. Сега, утре пак ще пусна стрим специално за PC Gaming Show-то. А сега ще кажа по-подробна информация и ще разкрия малко по-подробно като информация за случващото се на The Game Awards 2024. Значи, сега тук ще кажа датата, часа, кога ще почне, къде може да го гледате, в кои платформи, на кои платформи може да го гледате, в кои приложения. Кили, Избек, Джеф Кили се върна. Който не знае кой е Джеф Кили води E3, Summer Game Fest и Gamescom. И плюс това водеше на The Game Awards. А The Game Awards съществуват вече от 10 години, че е над 10, от 2014 съществуват. Водиш Джеф Кили, който е организаторът и журналист. Значи, The Game Awards ще се проведат на 13 декември в Америка. Между другото, The Game Awards 2024 се проведе в четвъртък, 12 декември по целия свят. Те започват в 12:30 през нощта. Като на какви платформи може да го гледаме? Може да го гледаме на всички платформи. Може на смарт телевизор, може на телефон, на таблет, на лаптоп, на персонален компютър. В кои приложения може да го гледаме? Може в YouTube, в Twitch, в X, това не го знам, кой, Facebook Live, Steam, не знам там как може да се гледа. Ние ще го гледаме в YouTube, защото там е по-лесно и ще го гледаме на живо в моя YouTube канал Атанас Пенчев на 12 декември от 12 часа. Тук има вдерто и са номинациите и категориите за тях, които още не са гласували, да отидат да гласуват за игрите на годината. И са номинации. Според мен ще спечели Black Myth Wukong. Тая игра ще спечели много награди на самото събитие, което ще се случи в четвъртък. Elden Ring тя ще спечели, нищо че това е Expansion. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth ще спечели доста награди. Също така за Like a Dragon Infinity Way от Silent Hill ще спечели някакви награди. Все пак чакахме Silent Hill 2 ремейка от много време и го чакахме. Silent Hill Blade 2 с тази игра не знам въобще дали ще спечели някаква награда. Stellar Blade ще спечели за готина музика и саундтрак. Интересно ми е Люк Робъртс каква награда спечели за неговата главна роля в Silent Hill 2 като Джеймс Съдърланд. За първа дебютна инди игра Manor Words спечели сигурно някаква награда. Frostpunk 2 сигурно ще спечели тя някаква награда. Manor Words също. Като кажем, че Frostpunk 1 на времето бях се навил да я цикам, но не знам, нещо ми се уби интереса и сега ще дам втори шанс на Frostpunk 1 и ако ми хареса, ще цикам и Frostpunk 2. За най-добра адаптация филми по игри бих казал Fallout ще спечели много награди, тъй като игрите са доста яки. Аз Fallout 4 мъничко съм играл, първите няколко часа съм играл и много ми хареса. Не съм я изиграл до край Fallout 4. И плюс това тая година направиха сериал по Fallout, аз не съм го гледал, ще го гледам в бъдеще. И тъй като се говори, че ще има и Fallout 5 в бъдеще. Но до тогава ще минат много години, тъй като те сега са повечето фокусирани върху The Elder Scrolls 6, която ще излиза през 2025 или 2026 година за най-дочаквана игра. От тук чакам Death Stranding Beyond the Beach, Ghost of Yotei. За GTA 6 не съм фен, за Metroid Prime също не и за Monster Hunter World също не съм фен. За тия трите не съм фен, за тия двете съм фени. От тук чакам Death Stranding 2 и Ghost of Yotei. Тук бях гласувал за Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, ако не се лъжа. Или пък за Ghost of Yotei май гласувах. Май за Ghost of Yotei гласувах, защото е много яка игра. Също така я чакам с голям интерес през 2025. Няма да играя на релиз, защото имам много други игри да играя. И до тази игра ще стигна в някакъв момент. След това тук няма какво да коментирам за eSports игрите, тъй като не съм фен на eSports игрите. Това е в сайтът radiotimes.com. След това ще влезем в другия сайт diherto.com. Да видим тук какво друго има. Който не знае, The Game Awards се случват наживо пред жива публика. Не мога да ви кажа колко е живата публика. Сигурно около 1000-2000 души има в залата. Наживо се случва с водещ Джеф Кили и наживо се случва това предаване наживо от Пиакок театъра, който се намира в Лос Анджелис в Америка. Тук не знам какво друго да гледаме.
Нищо не си пил. Ще се обезводниш, бабо. Нищо, никаква течност не си пил. Тук по едно шишенце вода слагай, пий по-малко. Без да пиеш, ще влезеш в болница. Никаква течност нямаш от това. В тялото. Какво ще правиш те? Направо се обезводниш. Трябва да пиеш по нещо. Път не газирано, друго пий.
Какво да пия, не знам.
Че да знае. Обезводняване ще получиш, ще влезеш в болница. Не да знам. Какво? Не да знам какво ще пиеш. Вземи си там, нямаш ли чайове?
Имам.
Вода да ти налеем. Такова.
Не знам какво.
Ако искаш от това, лимона, кое?
Но ти лимона най-вече.
Я да имаш нож с малко вода винаги. Малко да пиеш, защото само да я вижда.
И така, хора, мисля на този прекрасен пейзажен wallpaper на моя десктоп, на моя лаптоп, да ви кажа една приятна вечер и да ви кажа едно прекрасно чао. Но преди да кажа чао, искам да кажа сред тази природа от дървета и от треви, от това голямо езеро, сред тия треви и дърва, да ви пожелая една приятна вечер за тези, които ще ядат тая вечер и ще пият. И аз ще пийте за здраве от мен и с вас ще се видим още утре от 2 часа, утре след обед, в моя YouTube канал Атанас Пенчев, където ще гледаме PC Gaming Most Wanted 2024 Livestream, да видим какви там пък игри са обявени. И това е за днескашния ден. Благодаря на всеки, който дойде на днешния стрим, за да се видим, да се поговорим и да гледаме заедно анонсите на различни игри. Дано да ви харесва днешния стрим. Близо 4 часа стана този стрим. И мисля това да е всичко за днеска. Утре пак ще има стрим. Тъй че тази седмица ще има стримове. В четвъртък пак ще има стрим, където ще гледаме The Game Awards 2024, игри на годината 2024 и тъй. Това е за днеска и с вас се видим още утре. Чао и до скоро. Аз бях Атанас Пенчев.
Ето. Газирана, ако искаш пия, ма по мъничко е тъй. Да не е.